All right, we're back live at prisonplanet.tv, simulcasting on the radio here. And this is my first time talking to him. My producers talked to him many times. We've set him up for the show. I'm not even going to say which state police agency he's from. We've gotten this from several states, more than several different variants in the last few months. We're going to call him David. That's not his name. That sent us the MIAC strategic report that has gotten national and international attention. In fact, the MIAC report was here in my stack, and then Jason was in here last night doing a show. I'll have to dig it out. Here is the MIAC report. No, that's not it. Well, the point is it's up on Infowars.com and everywhere else. No, that's a copy of the MIAC report. Oh, there it is. Good. Folks, it's so crazy in here setting up guests. I was just talking to Ron Paul's office, and then after that I was talking to Chuck Baldwin's office just now and setting up the state police officer right now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back from break. We're going to push Oath Keepers back to about 15 after next hour, so I have time to talk on air to the state police officer and restart what I was just covering here with the MIAC report, because I got on air and realized I wanted the MIAC report and found it here in the disheveled stack. So we're going to talk to David, state police officer. It's not his name, folks. When we come back, directly from the gentleman that sent us this, one of the gentlemen that sent us this, stay with us. Last Wednesday, we broke a report separately sent to us by two separate state police officers in two different states. MIAC strategic report, the modern militia. This is federally written to the fusion centers, distributed all over the country. This is the Missouri version with the governor's seal on it. We've got state reps on that have talked to the head of the state police there, the commander. It's true. They admit it. They back it. They support it. We've interviewed and called and played clips with the state police captain in charge at MIAC. This is real. And now Len Beck's covered it. Rush Limbaugh's covered it. We've confirmed those clips. I've watched them during breaks. It is a huge story, and it should be. But these and other variants like them go out everywhere. We're joined by David, a current state police officer. We're just going to leave it at that, not even tell you what state he's in, and have him tell the story of, you know, what it's like to have these in the department, other reports they've had, what other officers are saying, and what it's like to see this have blown up so big. We appreciate his courage, because they do have retribution against officers, and they talk about that in here if it gets out. Sir, we appreciate you upholding your oath to protect and defend the Bill of Rights and Constitution that so many have fought and died for. Thank you so much, officer.
You're quite welcome, Alex.
Okay, tell us when you first got this and what it was like reading it and what other officers are saying.
Well, they emailed it to all the area officers and offices, and it's like a training thing, you know. And when I pulled it up on the screen, at first I was in disbelief after I read it, and I had to read it a couple of times to understand, what are they saying? I thought it was a spoof. But when I read it, when I ran it past a few other officers, you know, and they had the same twist that I had on it, that they were actually saying that some of us were militia members, that we belonged to a militia group just because, as myself, I have a Ron Paul sticker on my car. Some other officers, they believe that gun control is not correct and that we shouldn't be marking our bullets, ammunition act that they're trying to pass through. And we're saying, wait a minute, this is like a big net taking in everybody. You know, it didn't appear right, and it seemed like this thing was just anti-American all the way. It really made me mad.
So the majority of other officers that you talked to in your state police office, they were upset by it just like you?
Yes, they were. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about officers that are Kool-Aid drinking officers. I mean, officers that back Bush all the way. Even they were very upset by this document. They said, no, this can't be true. You know, and a few of them looked at the author of the article and they said, well, it's part of a chorus, that this is probably what comes out of this agency.
Yeah, we decided to go with your cell phone because it doesn't have a good connection and kind of distorts your voice, but it's doing its job too well right now. So just, I guess maybe speak a little bit louder for us, officer. I don't want to give out any details about where you are or how senior you are, but we just appreciate, again, your courage coming on. How long ago did you first get emailed this? It came out in the 20th of February. Was it around that time?
I got it about a week after the 20th. That's when I opened it. And it took me that long to digest what was actually on this document and really interpret what they were trying to tell us.
Well, it's a guilt by association document. I mean, do you agree they mix white supremacist and cop killers in with basically every libertarian or conservative or anti-corruption group under the sun and 3 popular presidential candidates and a sitting congressman?
Yes, I do agree. Exactly.
Amazing guilt by association. And then they show American flags and the "Don't Tread on Me" and that's used by most of the military is bad. If you got that on your car, look out for folks with these bumper stickers. We're going to come back in 1 minute, sir, 70-second break, and get into, is this profiling? What is this meant to do when they give this to the state police? And is this why we see state police across the country harassing Ron Paul people? We are back live now, already into hour number 3. In about 15 minutes, we've got Oath Keepers, a group for police, military, and others are saying we're going to uphold the Constitutional Bill of Rights. Very well written, very well done site because it's a constitutional lawyer that started it, but a lot of police and military have joined and pledged their oath to protect and defend the Constitutional Bill of Rights. We've got a gentleman on the line right now, state police officer. We'll just call him David. That's not his name. His name has been changed to protect the innocent, those defending the Bill of Rights and Constitution. We're talking about the MIAC strategic report. Here's the report he sent me. Got it up on screen right here for you as well. This story is now huge. Profiling. I mean, they admit this is sent out to state police. It was sent to your state police. This is going on all over the country. That's confirmed. We're not going to get into that, though, because that can get into where you're at. And, I mean, what is this meant to give patrol officers this? Because they talk about when they pull you over. You know, if you see these bumper stickers, if you see this, if you see that, they start the whole page out with cop killing, I guess to prejudice the police, but it doesn't look like it's working too well. So is this profiling and demonizing anybody that disagrees with the government?
It's actually, I believe it is. I believe that is the intent, but I don't think it's going to work. I think the officers in my agency can see through this ruse, and they understand that this document is meant to enslave the American people, and I don't think it's going to work. I think it missed its mark. It's so obvious. It's so obvious to lean one way, to be a net that encompasses everybody. Like I said, even though I don't have that right wing, left wing false paradigm, but even the right wingers in my particular area office see through it clearly, and they understand what it is. So as a profile document, as a document meant to teach police officers to profile, I think they lost.
Well, they're certainly losing now. Congressman Ron Paul, former Congressman Bob Barr, and presidential candidates are saying they're going to sue if they don't retract this. Right.
And you know what I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to train the younger officers. I mean, the really young, impressionable officers. But they don't understand these young officers that are coming into these departments, a lot of them are really smart and sharp. They're coming in with 4-year degrees. I know a couple of attorneys that have just started the department, and they can see through this, Alex. I think these people are running scared now. I think you and your office and people like you have done such a great job informing an American public that people are seeing through these people. The American citizens are seeing through these people.
What type of things were these state police officers in your office saying when they read this?
They were in disbelief. They said, hey, I like guns just like any other American likes guns, and I'm not letting nobody take my gun. And the ammunitions and, like the 223 round and the 308 that Obama wants to get rid of, they say, no, it's not going to happen. They said, when they come to get, the statements are getting really bad. They said they're going to have a hard time getting my weapon from me. And I say the same thing. You're not getting my weapon unless you pry it out of my cold, dead hand. I'm not giving it up.
I mean, would you say 90% of the police, the other state police officers you work with are like this, or 50%? And you're saying that the statements are getting like, sounds like you're saying bordering on, we're going to resist this.
I would say 80 to 90% of the officers that I spoke to, and that's out of like 80 officers, 90 officers, are saying, no, this is not going to work.
Stay there. Let's recap that when we come back and get into anything else you want to cover and your take on this story getting so big. It should get big. This is outrageous, and it's public now because your courage and other state police officers' courage. Because this outraged police so bad, we got 2 copies of this from 2 different states, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. We'll be right back.